Hello everybody and welcome to the Pin Collector channel. Tonight I'm doing something just a little bit different in that I'm going to run a little series on Tales of a Haunted House. Now, as you all know, haunted houses, or what would be considered fun houses a lot of times, have become a staple in the amusement park industry, county fairs, you name it. And Walt Disney was no different. He always had a vision of having an old haunted house in his parks. So this series is going to kind of focus on the haunted mansions that are available at the Disney parks as attractions and how they've kind of materialized and changed in concept from drawing board to what we actually see when we're in the parks, and how they've altered them a little bit for their overseas parks in order to kind of meet the customs and the languages that they need to get the story across to in those other areas. Now, of course, the Haunted Mansion, Walt Disney had his view of an old dilapidated house on a hillside, but originally when he started thinking, he wanted to put it right on Main Street and it be just a part of the Main Street genre. And when you walk down Main Street, you would be able to peek in the windows of this haunted mansion and see all of the ghostly things that were going on inside. Of course, that quickly kind of got pushed aside a little bit, and they decided that, something more foreboding, a old mansion on a hillside that overlooked a church with a graveyard, those types of ideas started being bantered around. So the whole idea of the haunted mansion was going to be one of not only attraction based supernatural type feel, but they wanted it to actually blend in with everything else that was being made at that time. So, find my name here for you. It was actually one Imagineer that started out making a drawing or a sketch of what would eventually turn into a haunted house, and that was going to be Harper Goff. And he drew a Gothic type mansion, and he drew a lot from a lot of different supposedly haunted houses that he visited, including the Winchester House in California, and wanted to draw a lot of attention to the psychological end of a haunted house versus the actual, being Disney, we didn't need the gore, and we didn't need a lot of things that you see around Halloween in the haunted houses that they set up. They wanted it to be more visual and more tactile for the visitors. They wanted the feel of the haunted house without constructing that shock into it that you see a lot of times. So that's kind of where the concept started. And initially, once they decided this was going to be something they were going to move forward with, the whole idea of this haunted house or this haunted mansion was going to be a walking attraction. It was going to be something you walked through and you were guided through by a cast member who could tell the story of the mansion as they led you through the different hallways and the different pieces and the different areas. That way the story would be continuous and have really good continuity. So that was the originality of the Haunted Mansion, is they were going to have a walkthrough attraction. They decided it needed to blend in with the rest of the motif, and that it needed to be scary, but not too scary. After all, it is a Disney attraction, and there were going to be a lot of kids coming to Disney, so they needed to be able to tone it to the point to where it was exciting enough for the adults, but tame enough for the kids. So the next time when I have another video, I'm going to try to keep the videos fairly short so that it doesn't take up too much of your time. I appreciate you being here and you coming to support the channel, but I know your time is as precious as mine. So the next time that we visit about the Haunted Mansions, we'll talk a little bit about how it started to transition into a ride versus a walking attraction, and some of the elements that started to get stitched into it, and how they used some of the original concepts but drew from other areas as well. Hope you guys have a great night. Make sure and like the video if it's content that you're liking, and share it by all means, and of course subscribe. Subscriptions are always free. Guys, have a great night, and I'll see you tomorrow.